The Democrat machine isn't dead yet. They're grabbing their guns, hopping on the saddle, and heading off to battle, telling the New York Times, quote, "We're preparing for the next war that is coming." The machine raised $15 million to fight the commie insurgency. Now, the commies, they don't even need money. They fight just because they like the taste of blood. But the cash, that's the only thing the machine knows. And cash has always been king until now. Kamala outspent Trump 2-1, and salty grapes outspent Abdul 10-1. Now the clock's ticking. Quote, their fear, Abdul was paving a path for a progressive to seize the party's presidential nomination in 2028 and then go on to lose the general election. The commies are already measuring the drapes.
Do you think that there will be a nominee, a Democratic nominee for president that will be either a Democratic Socialist or aligned with Democratic Socialist policies?
You know, I think we will see what the voters have to say when it comes to 2028. I think that we have seen the best thing to do is to listen to what voters want.
The buzz at this week's D.C. cocktail parties, Abdul's unstoppable. One of his former staffers says this.
I think if he wins the general election, he will run for president.
I have the same thing. See, we're 2 for 2 on who's going to run for president.
Yeah,
same. I totally agree.
I can guarantee you, he will be the progressive front runner.
AOC might be the heir to Bernie's throne, but she's only one in the Bronx. And let's be honest, the Democrats haven't had good luck running women. So if Abdul wins a general in the Rust Belt, he's going to have street cred. And Muslim fever is going to spread. The establishment's ordering a code red, calling this a mortal danger to the party. They've even cobbled together a war room to do opposition research on every single commie up and down the ballot. They're treating the commies like Republicans. So, commies, get ready to be accused of rape. Plattner, sound familiar? But the communists have a secret weapon: crazy white women.
You're going to hear establishment preservationist Democrats saying, oh, Abdul can't win in the general election. And this is horse. It is horse because look no further than New York. Why are they winning? Because the people are sick of politicians whoring themselves out to corporations.
The ladies better not get too cocky because Abdul's numbers just dropped, literally.
Once El-Sayed became the favorite for that nomination, and now that he's actually become the nominee, Democratic chances have fallen dramatically. You can see it right here. Cast your prediction odds. Take a look here. Chance to win the Michigan Senate race. You go back to April at this point in the month. Dems had a 79% chance. Look how that number has fallen dramatically. Down we go into Lake Michigan. Now we're talking about just a 59% chance, while Mike Rogers, the Republican nominee, look at this, 21% chance, basically doubling, now up to a 41% chance.
Michigan's a swing state. You can't win it with just college towns. He's already in the hole with blacks, white working class, and farm country. Abdul knows that, so he's transitioning.
With the positions that you've had on Medicare for all or abolishing ICE or, a billionaire's tax, what do you think that looks like in terms of going forward?
I think right now the question that people are asking is not where do you stand on the left-right spectrum on a series of issues that people talk about on CNN. I think the questions that people are asking is, who's going to help me afford my housing? Who's going to help me afford my groceries? Who's going to make sure I can see a doctor if I get sick? I'm interested in answering those questions. I'm not a socialist, but I am a scientist.
Oh, so the Michigan Muslim wants to abolish ICE, your doctor, and your savings. And we've already dealt with a mad scientist during the pandemic. We're good. Just like Tallarico's trying to prove that he loves women, Abdul's trying to prove he loves Jews.
So as I've always said to my Jewish sisters and brothers, I'm looking forward to fighting the fight against anti-Semitism and Islamophobia with you. I'm looking forward to joining you. If you open the door for me, I'm happy to come in. I'm looking forward to building relationships. I hope that you'll join this movement.
If Abdul can bring Jews and Muslims together, then Mazel Tov. He should be president. But that's a long shot. Abdul spent the whole primary blasting Jewish money. Salty Grape Stevens got 30 mil of it. Suddenly, Abdul realizes the general's going to be expensive, and he's like, shalom! And Chuck's holding the purse. So Abdul has gone from, Chuck's got to go to, Chuck, he's my bro.
How did your call with Chuck Schumer go today?
Well, at this point, I'm the only Democrat standing to come to the inside of the U.S. Senate, and I think we had a good, meaningful, heart-to-heart conversation about what it takes to win in a state like Michigan, and what needs to be done to defeat Mike Rogers. So I'm looking forward to partnering alongside him to win the Senate majority.
Abdul's not the only commie in Michigan pulling a switcherooski. One guy running for the House says he just canceled his commie card.
When did you leave the Democratic Socialists of America?
It was within the last month. I let my membership lapse.
So did you let that membership expire because of the general election?
No, it's just because I want to make clear to my constituents that I'm here to represent them.
A lot of guys dump their high school girlfriends before they go to college. It's just what you do. Even the OG is doing damage control.
No serious person that I know who is running for office believes in quote-unquote defunding the police. I was a mayor for 8 years. I worked very closely with cops. They have a very difficult job. Do we need police reform? Do we need to get rid of racism within police departments? Absolutely. Open borders? No. Most of us believe in comprehensive immigration reform, not opening up all the borders.
Bernie must have Biden brain. Quote, I believe that we do need to defund the police insofar as defunding the police is disinvesting in the means of incarcerating someone or killing them in the streets. So that's no name. That's from Bernie's main dog. That's Abdul from the Summer of Love. Tallarico, Hong, Chevalier. We could go up and down the commie ballot.
Would you like to abolish prisons and abolish the police?
Long before there was any notion of policing, we had founders that did not even understand that term. Policing is something that's evolved over time.
Okay, I'm talking about police that arrest bad people, that commit crimes and commit robberies and rape, the child molesters, the drug dealers, those people, the people that have guns that protect the innocent.
Were there people who did that before the term police existed, though?
That's Chris Rob You Blind in Pennsylvania. He's running for Congress in another Rust Belt state. Guy hates cops and borders.
Do you want amnesty for illegals and to abolish borders?
What are illegals?
Illegal immigrants, people that didn't respect our laws, borders, and sovereignty, entered the country without permission. Illegally.
I don't accept the premise of that question.
Fetterman's from Pennsylvania, too. And the hoodie says Bernie and his boys better get off his turf.
You know, Bernie Sanders will never represent any more than 640,000 people in Vermont. That's all he's ever done, and he ever will do. He's never won an actual competitive election. Stop giving me lectures on how to win. Bernie's not flipping seats. He is helping install volatile and dangerous kinds of candidates and now put, Democratic seats at risk. I've flipped seats.
Bernie Sanders has held office in Vermont for 45 years. In Vermont, he's never won a real fight. He's never even had a real job. And he lives in fantasy land. Now, what works in Vermont doesn't work anywhere else. Democrats are trying to win in battlegrounds like Wisconsin. And you know who's running away with the nomination? Hong, who hates holidays. Her deputy campaign manager is a former Penthouse Pet of the Year. When she's not busy running a statewide campaign, she's an OnlyFans model and a prostitution activist. Hong actually gave her a big award for her commitment to the sex work industry. Even that's a little too much for Sanders. He's wiping his hands clean of Wisconsin.
You haven't yet endorsed in the Wisconsin governor's race. What's your thinking there, and might you endorse? Or
I don't think so. I met Francesca a couple of years ago. I was in Wisconsin, and she seems very, very nice. But again, this is a race I'm not that familiar with.
Not familiar with it. Bernie created a monster, and Republicans are going to hang Hong around Democrats' necks. And he knows it. And now he's like, I don't know her. The communist platform isn't something you can have a one-night stand with. You have to mate for life.
This is actually something that we committed to at convention, having our endorsed candidates supporting the program. It's a requirement now.
It sounds so radical, like abolish the Senate, abolish the Supreme Court, like et cetera, but it's not. Like those are the things that need to happen.
The Bernie bros are betting the House on 2026. Knock the machine out this year and then glide path to the Democrat National Convention in 2028. Seems easy, right? Wrong. Mondani got booed off stage in New York. The country's not going to put up with these kind of shenanigans. These commies are a dangerous force, and they're aimed directly at the heart of the American Republic. Now, before his death, Charlie Kirk issued a warning.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.